Chilling words from that judge. A long career he has had. He is 74 years old as he sits on trial here and now for the murder of his wife, admitting to the killing, admitting it. But the defense here at trial is that it was an accidental shooting. We know they were drunk. We know that argument got heated. How did it go from the margaritas and a nice, pleasant dinner, going home to watching their favorite show, Breaking Bad? Great show, by the way, and his one lawyer looks a lot like Mike Ehrmantraut. Any fellow Breaking Bad viewers will get that reference. How does the night go from that to a homicide? And then the judge having to tell his staff he's not going to be in. Get someone else to handle the docket. He is out. Let me bring in trial attorney and former prosecutor Randolph Rice. Randolph, good morning to you. Your initial reaction to what we're seeing revealed in this opening statement, please.
Well, there is a lot to unpack here, Julian. You're right. This is just a crazy story. I think it seems like that this was a argument and a disagreement between the judge and his wife that had been brewing for some time. And certainly it sort of reached a max peak at that restaurant that night when they started drinking and the judge started consuming alcohol, and probably his emotions were taking over. He then goes home, and like they said in the opening statement, it kept going and kept going to the point to where he pulls out this gun and he shoots and kills his wife. It just is an incredible story, which you would think somebody like a judge who is so even-keeled. We elect and hire judges because they have an even temperament and they can control their emotions. But obviously there was just too much that night for that judge.
Right, Randolph. This is just so stunning and so preventable too, right? You know, when you think about this, alcohol and bad arguments don't mix. I mean, we know that. Go into any criminal courthouse in the country right now, and I bet you'll find a case just like that. Tell me your thoughts, please, about how this escalated. Drawing on your trial experience, can you see how this kind of built up and then culminated?
I can actually see it. I mean, I sympathize as a defense attorney with the judge that he certainly had he had gotten to the point of breaking with this argument about, sounds like, finances and some other issues that had been going on. But like you said, when you couple that with alcohol, alcohol takes away that reasoning, that good judgment, and you start making bad decisions. And couple that with the fact that you have a firearm strapped to your ankle. Look, when I was a prosecutor, I had a wear and carry permit. I had to carry one because, as you know, it was part of the gang unit, and we had threats, and I had to have a firearm. And one of the big rules they always told us was you cannot have that firearm when you're drinking. So that was a big rule. So to couple the firearm and the alcohol and the arguments, a dangerous, perfect storm.
Right. And Randolph, thank you for sharing that. That's something this judge should know, and that is responsible gun ownership 101. Right? You know, I mean, that is very true. That's an excellent point. I have many more questions for you, please, Randolph. Stand by. We're going to hit a break as we're at the bottom of the hour now. When we come back, more from this stunning case in California. This is Orange County. Beautiful, sharp opening statement by this prosecutor here. Oh, and then leaving with those heavy words from the judge saying, convict me, send me on my way. Yet here we are. Here we are. And under the law, the judge is cloaked in the presumption of innocence. While the facts are bad, state's got to prove them. Got to prove them. Innocent until proven guilty. So how do we get from point A to point B? If he does want the jury to believe that this was accidental, how do we get there? Let's bring in our legal analyst guest, Randolph Rice, and get his thoughts out. Randolph, what do you say to that question, please?
Well, this is going to be tough for the judge's defense to argue, because anybody that's ever used a Glock weapon, there's two very important safety features when it comes to accidentally firing that weapon that prevent that from actually being an accident. One is there's a trigger guard. That prevents any type of mechanism or finger or anything hitting that trigger. Secondly, Glocks have a very unique safety, which is almost like a second trigger within the trigger that you have to press first to then pull the trigger, which takes 5 pounds. So to accidentally shoot a Glock takes a lot of effort. So that's going to be a tough argument for the defense.
Randolph, you know your stuff. You know your stuff. Yeah, it's like you hit a wall. When you pull that trigger, you hit this little wall before the gun fires. Yeah, and so great point. How's he going to get there? I can't wait to see what happens in this case. I wish we had more time to talk with you. Your analysis is always incredible. Randolph Rice, thank you for being on the program and watching the opening statement with us. So I want to let everyone at home know the court's put some restrictions on us for that case where we're not permitted to show the testimony. So we're going to be providing updates as we can as this case moves forward with that judge so we can see the opens and the closes.